Yo, what's happening, guys? Little build video update here. This one's for a DK, PvE DK. I've been having fun with this one. This one's been pretty fun to play. We got a group setup, a solo setup. We also have a budget setup and a budget solo setup. We also have a group trash mob poll setup too. There is going to be a small little clip towards the end of a quick little rotation of this, just for you guys who want to see the little rotation and see how it's done. Then we're gonna cover it. But in terms of gear, what we are running, we are in obviously the One Piece Huntsman Mythic. What this does is it's just gonna deal extra damage whenever we bash someone. It applies a mark above the target for 1 minute. I tend to try and bash every 20 to 30 seconds, roughly around 30 seconds. You want to try and bash and just keep this update, because if you can keep a bash in rotation every like 30 to 40 seconds, you will keep this up 100% of the time, and it's just super nice to have up. If the enemy does die, obviously with this being marked on the target, you increase your damage done by 5%, and then up to 15% more to the target, and then up to 50% less damage to all other nearby enemies. So it's a very nice mythic. If the enemy does die while it is marked, you also get Mag and Stam based off of whatever your highest resource is. So in my case, my highest resource is Magicka, so I will get the Magicka back. It is very, very nice to use. Obviously, a little inside joke here. I thought, oh, well, we're a huntsman and hunters need to be able to see, but then I'm blind. With the One Piece blind, I thought that was kind of funny. So, yeah. And obviously hunters set blind to traps too. So it was like a double Tundra inside joke for myself. I thought that was kind of funny. Obviously we are in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6-piece medium, 1-piece light for the extra pen. Everything is divines, bloodthirsty across the board on the jury. And then on the daggers, we are taking charged on both of them. And then we're taking a none on the Maelstrom Perfected Inferno Staff. But in terms of the other sets, obviously we got the 1-piece slime. Well, we've got the blind, but it's pretty much a 1-piece slime crawl. If you don't have the blind, you can use slime crawl. You can also use Ice Heart. They are another options for you, what you can do. So that's fine. Obviously, Null Archer is a trial set. So we are running 2 trial sets. Obviously, one being Null Archer. This is from Lucent Citadel. You don't need the perfected Null Archer. If you have it, by all means, take it, because it is slightly better. But realistically, you don't lose a lot. So, normal is suffice. Advancing Nikita is from Hellra Citadel. This is a very easy trial to complete. Highly recommend going and getting this set. And this will just give you critical chance upon critical chance upon critical chance. And then with the 5th item, you gain a insane amount of critical chance. And then whenever you deal martial melee damage, which i.e. light attacks or heavy attacks, you have a critical chance increasement by 298 for 5 seconds, and that can stack up to 5 times the 298. So you guys can do the maths. I ain't gonna sit here and do the maths, but yeah, as you can see, very, very strong. It's very, very nice. I will play obviously both segments towards the end of this video. I'm just gonna cover what we're doing here. Obviously we got the thief. Our critical rating is pretty high up there. It's really not that bad. We got pretty good weapon and spell damage. It's nice. Obviously we take Master in Arms, Thermitage, Fighting Finesse, Exploiter. And then I've got Balanced Vitality, Surviving Instincts, Siphoning Spells, and Bloody Renewal. I take this, this is my preference. Realistically, I mean, you can sustain without these because of how the DK is. I just like having them. That's just my kind of own personal preference there. If you didn't want to take them, there is probably a couple what you could take. You could take, obviously, rejuvenation would be a good one. Um, you could also take the increasement to res if you were playing in groups more. What else would be good? I mean, slippery's not a bad one. Expert evasion isn't a bad one either. There's some other choices what you can personally take if you didn't want siphoning spells or bloody renewal. Steve's blessing is the green tree. Master Gatherer. Green tree don't really matter, but this is what I take. I take Steve blessing. I take Master Gatherer. Sustained by shadow. And then Angler's instincts. But yeah, in terms of masterclass, we're taking Inexorable Descent and Wildfire Embers as our masterclass DK skill lines. Highly recommend them. So, for the other set, what we did do a pass in is going to be the budget build. So the budget build is a little bit easier to require than the trial build, okay? So, this is the wrong one. My bad. We need this one, the group one. So the budget build is slightly different. So the budget build is a lot easier to maintain and acquire, due to the fact that one of the two sets is a 3-trait craftable item set, and the other is a dungeon set. Okay, it's a lot easier for people to acquire this over doing a trial with 12 other people. Some people can't do trials, and I fully understand that. So I wanted to try and bring something for you guys, so you had that opportunity to be able to put yourself into something what did good enough damage, to be able to carry you then through a trial. This will do that with ease, okay? The only thing what's probably going to be hard getting out of this sort of setup is, one, if you don't have a crafter, by all means, if you're in a guild, ask people. There are many people in this game that are willing to craft you a set. Hey, reach out to me if you're on PCNA. I'm more than happy to craft you a set, as long as I know that it's going to be on your actual character, okay? If you just wanted me to craft your gear just to sell it, like, I will find out, and, I just won't deal with you ever again. It's as simple as that. But there are people out there what are willing to help, okay? So never be afraid to ask for help. Aegis Caller is a dungeon set. I think this one is from Unhallowed Grave, if I'm not mistaken. Aegis Caller, DLC Dungeons, yeah. So it's from Unhallowed Grave, so I was correct. What this set does is it gives you weapon and spell damage, critical chance, weapon and spell damage again, and then whenever you deal critical damage, which is pretty consistently, you will, with a melee attack, i.e. light attack weaving with your melees, you summon a lesser Aegis for 11 seconds. After 2 seconds, the lesser Aegis spins into a blade, dealing extra bleed damage over that course of the 12 seconds, and then it will come back straight away. The uptime is 100%. So as soon as it runs out, providing that you do another critical damage after that 12 seconds, it will potentially come back up into the mix, which is pretty nice. It's a very, very interesting set. It's not a bad set for a dungeon set. It's pretty good. Obviously, Orders Wrath is the other piece. This is a 3-trait craftable set. So what this set does is it gives you critical chance, weapon and spell damage, more critical chance, because I wanted to try and meet the same similar heightened of critical chance as the other set. Obviously we will not be able to get that because advancing Nikita's critical chance is just through the roof in comparison. There is another set, the Forest of the Wild, or something like that. I think it's called Forest Wraith. I think it's called, actually, the something to do with the Forest Wraith. That set is good, but that's only for your class abilities. Okay, so overall, just generalizing just damage output and stuff like that, I thought Order's Wrath would have been the better choice, so we went with that instead over Forest Wraith. But yeah, that literally just gives you critical chance, weapon spell damage, critical chance, more critical chance, and then it increases your critical damage and critical healing by 8%. Okay, so it's a very, very interesting set. None of our CP changes in between the two gear sets and the gear builds. The only other thing I will say is my other build for when I'm running around solo. So we didn't showcase this one, and we didn't showcase the trash mob build too. So let's do the trash mob build real quick. So if I'm in trials, I'm actually going to be running this on this character for trash mob. So we still keep the huntsman mask and we still keep the blind shoulder, but what I've done instead is rather than running null archer on my body for trash setup pole, I'm going to run the Aegis Caller. And the reason why I'm going to run Aegis Caller over the other set is because it's an AoE situational set, right? So realistically, in my mind, the way that I was thinking is if we've got like a big group of ads and it's a big trash pole, this is probably going to outperform null archer by quite a lot, because it's going to hit everything, where null archer is more single target. Okay, so I figured, you know what, we'll just do that, right? So that's just trash mob. In terms of solo, and I've tested this thoroughly. I've tested them both thoroughly. I've been running around on Master, around out in the open world on Master. I've been doing veteran Maelstrom arenas. You know, just been messing around with it, really, just enjoying it and just kind of minding my own business. And I've done all this on stream. Like, you guys can go back on my VODs and actually see me doing this on my stream and stuff. So, like, there's no excuse when people say, oh, you didn't do that. It's all there, do you know what I mean? The evidence is there anyway, so it is what it is. But yeah, so there's a couple of choices. So if you're doing the advancing Nikita setup, this is how it would kind of look. So you would go with the one piece slime, or you could do the one piece blind. I just had the one piece slime anyway, so I was like, oh, I'm just going to use that because it saves me making another piece. So we just went with that. Obviously you would take the advancing Nikita. This is the only drawback here, because it's a heavy armor set. It's a little bit sucky because you lose out a little bit of weapon and spell damage due to the fact that it's a one piece heavy. That also being said, though, you don't necessarily notice it when you're running around in like solo arenas and stuff. It's not that badly noticeable. Okay. It was so easy to go through Maelstrom Arena with this. It was kind of ridiculous, to be honest. The other set for solo obviously is the budget build set. This one I would say probably performs a little bit better. It's a weird one. It's a hit and miss, because null archer is really strong, right? Null archer is incredibly strong. Realistically, if you could get your hands on the set, I would 100% go with the null archer and the advancing Nikita, obviously, because it just does more damage. But you know, for a budget build, this is pretty incredible too. But yeah, with the budget build, obviously you have the two-piece light then for the extra penetration. If I was to change this, I would have made a heavy, not heavy, I would have made a medium shoulder. But I already had this light shoulder, and I just said, you know what, I'm just going to try it with that. And it worked out okay. It was alright, but realistically, if we were optimizing completely for this pale order setup, I would have a medium shoulder and the one piece light. I would always do 6 medium, 1 light. It's probably the best optimized situational gear ratio setup for PvE currently, as it stands, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been rocking around on this guy. It's been super fun playing them, and I've just been having a lot of fun with it. Really, it's kind of peaceful playing a DK, and this kind of feels like an old DK too, and I think that's the good thing about it. It's very it's got a fast APM deliverance, so it feels very similar to how the old school DK kind of felt, and I kind of like that. So I hope you all enjoy, have fun, take care, all the best, and I'll see you all next time. Take care, bye bye.